What's your problem, man?
What's your problem?
What's your problem? Find out on this episode of Ignite.
Chris, what's your problem?
Well, thanks for asking, Steve. I'm feeling a little bit indigestion from the pizza. Sorry.
Oh, that's what you want to take too?
All right.
Pepto.
Sorry.
Chris, what's your problem?
My problem. Brady, what's your problem?
Michael, what's your problem?
Jack, what's your problem, bro?
Dude, I don't got a problem.
All right. Well, we now have named our episode.
Yep.
What's your problem? So this morning we had a Dominator meeting. For those who don't know, Ignite is like a mini version of the Dominators, which is like successful business owners. We get together. We talk about things that we're kind of going through because you can't talk about this stuff with your employees. You just can't. Okay. Number one, to rock their boat. Okay. And then more importantly, no one cares except for the business owners. You know? That's not true, but I'm going to say it anyway. One of the members that joined us this morning brought it to us. He's like, I want to update my logo. I'm overwhelmed by the process. I came up with 5 different ideas, but I don't know which one to pick. Can you guys help me? So I asked him before all this. I said, so, you know, because I mentioned tonight that we were going to talk about this at the podcast. Hey, what's your problem? So backing it up, I asked him, and that's what he said the problem was. He had a hard time figuring out which one to do. I said, what's the solution to that? And he said, I'm bringing the 5 ideas to you guys. You guys are creatives, and I need you to just help me pick one. And then I ultimately asked, I said, what's the benefit of that, coming up with the solution? He said, so I can then move on. I just need the logo. Make it happen. This is it. Now I can move on to the next problem. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. It's a little bit different than roadblocks, not necessarily what's holding you back. It's just something that you have to overcome. Okay, we've talked about, what do you have to start, stop, and continue to do. All these things start to wrap up in these situations that we're coming across. So, Chris, if you want to open up, something like that, I would say, literally, like, what's going on in your life? Is there a problem? What's your problem?
Yeah. Great question. This is good. Before I get into my problems, which will be here forever, let's be honest. But no, I think it's I think the most important part about figuring out what your problem is community. Is having people around us to ask you that question. What's your problem? What's stopping you from getting, we talked about roadblocks and, kind of figure out what's getting us, what's stopping us from getting to where we need to go and accomplish our goals and stuff. And so community is huge. Just having this program, having people around us, that's what this program does. Having your Dominators group, having people to say, this is my problem. Can you help me? Is huge. And so when I'm thinking about the goals that I have set out to accomplish, I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job with that this year, and a large thanks to this group and to this, being able to just get some stuff done. I think if I had to boil down, kind of one of my bigger problems is I think I need to sit down and assess where I'm going. I think I've kind of been on cruise for a while, especially since I finished school. And that was a big goal for me for so long. And I've been able to kind of, invest in some more hobby stuff and reading more, learning to play piano, trying to exercise more, things like that. And be more present at home as well. And so I've been able to accomplish those things, yet I feel like I don't have too much direction. I kind of want to start to go, all right, where do I want to be next year? Where do I want to be in 3 years, 5 years? Keep going. My problem is direction. Where am I going? Where am I headed? I don't want to just be meandering. I want to have a clear, intentional purpose in moving forward. So.
Okay. And this program clearly helps that.
Yes.
With some of the mind dumping that we do for just like, what are the things you want still, right?
Yeah.
Because you've also built a very successful youth group at church.
Yeah.
We took it from like six kids to 47 or something like that. We're there at Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
Was it 47, 48?
48.
Something like that?
I think 48 is the number I heard. So, yeah. Wow.
That's tremendous growth. That's I don't know, was it 18 months? Maybe 2 years? No, yeah, 18 months.
About 18 months.
One full year and then part of another.
Mm-hmm.
That's tremendous, right?
Yeah.
So I would say you have success there, but where does that stop?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
And finding direction.
Can you get 147?
Exactly. Where are we going with that? Too is a good question. It's maybe one of my problems is I need to be on top of it. Be ahead of the growth, as any kind of good successful person is thinking,
Mhm.
with their business or whatever they're doing.
Mhm.
All right, I'm getting here. I want to move up here. Keep moving. So,
Okay, so you're lacking direction.
Yeah.
That is like what? Most people,
yeah.
right?
And even people.
Jack is laughing because it might be a little bit true. Yeah.
But even people who have had times that they figured stuff out, I think like even you kind of with the program, and maybe you'll talk about this, but sometimes you're like, okay, there's so many things I could do right now. What do I do?
Yeah.
What direction do I go in with this?
Yeah.
The podcast kind of came from that. Let's
Right.
sit down. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about these things.
Mhm.
And because it's beneficial to us. Even successful people have to ask that question. Where am I headed? What am I doing?
Mm-hmm. That brings me to like this habit that I kind of developed for myself to kind of like get myself back on track. Like, I'll be in situations where, I got a lot of stuff going on. I got a bunch of schoolwork to get done. I have like a test tomorrow that I haven't even studied for, and it's already 1 a.m. I got a client to deal with, all that stuff sometimes, and it's like, or I'll just be stuck where it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta just kind of, like, when I think about it, I just kind of step back from everything. Like, they're just like, okay, what's going on? Analyze analyze where you're at, and then you can give yourself the answer to a lot of things if you kind of. And I'm not saying just like, what can I do now? I'm talking like really just step back, be like, okay, where am I at right now? What can I do? Because you can ask yourself the question that you want somebody to answer, and you can answer yourself almost every time.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading a book yesterday. Can't think the title of it. Maybe it'll come to me. Super Coach or something like that, or something. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to blow the quote, but it's like, what is it? When you take a step back, a lot of it would also be, I think the quote is something along the lines of this, what it is that you should stop doing.
Right.
Stop doing it.
Mm.
Like, you're aware of that thing.
Yeah.
So as you're like assessing, out of all the stuff that's in my life, what do I need to get rid of? Of course, I'm encouraging all of you guys to drop out of school. It's good. It's ridiculous already. No? That's terrible advice.
I already did it.
Kind of. So
I just want my diploma and then I'm gone.
All right. All right, yeah, because you got stuff to do.
Exactly.
I get it. We've had this conversation many times before. I'm playful with it, but there's also some seriousness to it. Jack, you were mentioning something. I want to talk about you mentioned that this new business that you're starting. There's come across some situations where you've come like across a roadblock.
Right.
Like there's a problem.
Yeah.
Has that problem been solved yet?
Not really. It's more of like a problem with me right now. I'm lacking the funds for it, which is why I just picked up a job. Start Sunday.
What?
Where at?
It's a cool job. I'm gonna be doing valet for these like luxury venues.
Oh, where?
Oh, very cool.
Here, let me pull it up real quick. It's a place.
You don't have to say it now. You can tell us later.
This place. It's
Ooh, that place. Ooh, how
Yeah.
fancy.
Ooh, fancy.
yeah. But yeah,
That's
so this guy he runs a dealership, and I got a connection to him, and he was like, yeah.
Oh, is it Arsh?
Arsh.
Oh yeah, I
How
know
do you know
Arsh.
Arsh?
Yeah, I bought 3 or 4 cars from him.
Ah, yeah.
He sells all the top end, high end stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought a lot of cars that
It's a
would
subtle
fall
flex.
into.
Yeah, I'm doing.
He's got the
valet
brand new
for-
the Acura NSX. He's
That's
got all
my
the-
dream car.
Yeah, that thing is beautiful. That was beautiful.
So bad.
No, but people will trade in beaters.
Yeah.
That's the ones I go by. So I'm actually humble that way. But yeah, his showroom. What a good dude. What a good. I want to have him actually on this podcast.
Okay.
So as you build a friendship with him, let's encourage that. Sorry everyone, but that's so. It's
Off-
good that we
off
have this cool
topic.
connection.
That's
It's good
great.
dude. Jackson used to work for him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that how you got the connection?
No, I got it from my sister's friend.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, either way it happened.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, good dude. Really good dude. Grew up in Grays Lake, I think, or lives in Grays Lake, something like that.
I'll talk to
Where's,
you. Like,
where's the
cool.
dealership?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
I bet he would remember me. I think he would anyway. Where is it? Like Lake Forest. It used to be right here in Grays Lake, right in the corner, not that far from here. But okay, well, I don't know if I'm derailing us or whatever, but sometimes when you, Chris, you had mentioned I'm lacking direction. Step in, assess. Where are we at? What are the biggest things? Obviously, you're married, so wife is a big thing, right? You're schooling. Check that off.
Yeah.
Right. Job security, or secured a job. I don't want to say job security.
Sure.
That's different. Secured a job. Health, right? What are the big ones? You're active at church. You grew that program. Like what is the next thing? Well,
Yeah.
well now you can start tackling hobbies or whatever you said, things that are fun. Piano and reading more and
Yeah.
all that other kind of stuff. I mean, maybe you're in a good spot. Maybe you just need to, I'm not saying take this advice, but what would it be? Like, just chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
You're doing great. You're active participant in the podcast.
Mhm.
You got a lot of fun things going on, and people ask you to go out for pizza and something. You're like, yeah, I got time. Let's go. Right?
Yeah.
It's a good place to be.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of that, like, I won't say contentment, but you're in a good place.
Yeah.
What are we chasing right now?
Sure.
Nothing until God says this,
Yeah.
right? And it'll just happen.
Mhm.
That's what I think. But keep it on top of mind so nothing starts to fall away
Yeah.
either. Thoughts?
Mhm. No, I think that's it's encouraging. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
encouraging. I think sometimes you can be hard on yourself or just kind of think, oh, I got to keep improving, got to keep moving, got to keep going. I definitely have goals that I want to accomplish. So buying a house and some other stuff, but just trying to keep that in mind as I move forward throughout my life. Not to just be satisfied, but be looking for improvement and kind of like you said, like youth groups in a great spot. It's kind of parallel, actually interesting. It's in a great spot, right? But what does it look like if we get more students, or
Yeah.
if we try to grow it or try to move on? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, even down to the most simple thing, which would be, how's the budget go for snacks,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Should we have 2 flavors of drinks? Should we have this?
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff.
Yeah, change it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to start thinking about when things start to grow.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Brady, Micah, you got anything top of mind? Who wants to go next?
Music
yeah.
is being made. Oh,
Okay.
Go ahead.
yeah.
I want to hear this.
Okay.
yeah. Can't really tell you that much.
What? What do you mean? You're keeping stuff secret
What's
from
her
us?
name?
What's
Oh,
her?
I'm
How
sorry.
pretty is she? Okay. No. So you're what's your problem with music? What's going on?
It's hard to find a record label when you're this small.
Mhm.
You don't really have a lot of money right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping to make some demos and then publish them, and hopefully get signed by Atlantic Records. And know I'm reaching above the limit right now, but
What limit?
That's my goal.
Who set the limit? Anyone here?
I didn't
Jack,
set
you
the
been setting
limit.
limits? No, Micah, you're encouraging, right? Okay.
Mhm.
What limit? What's the biggest record label?
I really don't know, but I'd love to get signed by Atlantic Records.
Atlantic.
It's hard to say.
I've even.
I think they signed like the Rolling Stones like a long time ago.
Yep. Our videographer knows who they are. Keith?
What is the
old
guy or something?
Sorry. Oh, let's give it up for
Sisyphus?
Keith right now. There, by the way, our new videographer. Well, he's not. Well, he's new to us. No, not really. Keith's been working with me for a long time, so we just want to give him props. Maybe we'll put him on the camera later.
Steve's second best friend.
Yeah, second best friend.
He's shaking his head. Don't put me on, but he's coming on.
He'll come on, exactly. Brady, back to you. So figuring out record labels. What you also said? Demos. What's a demo? I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Demo is when you like take a song and it's like a little bit like shorter than like this full song will be, but it's like an idea of what it's gonna be.
Mhm.
But you just publish it to a record label and they'll help you like finish.
It's like a
all the
trailer
songs.
almost.
Yeah.
Oh, like a trailer. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, because a record label would have an additional band members, or if people are more creative in that way. Like,
Well,
oh,
yeah.
I like that idea, and then they can expand upon it.
Hmm. Yeah, if they like think that like the guitarist is better or they want to throw him in another band, then they'll just do that, and that's how
Mhm.
they'll sign you.
Okay, I saw you popped up as friends I should know on Facebook, and
Yeah,
it's
you should.
and it's a Vital, your logo.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Can you tell us a story about the Vital? I think it's a fun story
Yeah.
because it used to be Rapid Pulse.
I used to be Rapid Pulse, then we thought it was a little bit too much of a heavy name, but the music that we want to make is just more of like a hard rock and an alternative like kind of rock like that. So we just picked Vital, and I think it just rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And that story that you want me to talk about is I was thinking that I wasn't like the greatest on the podcast, and I said, "Oh, I really don't want to show up next time." I think I said something like that. But you said like you're vital, and you said like a body without blood, and I was like, "What does that mean?" Like you mean a lot to this program. That really stuck with me, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a really cool band name." So
Mhm.
I switched it to that. They liked it, made a cool logo for it. And
Yeah, that's cool. All right, and here we are.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's a fun story.
It's a vital
You know?
story.
It's vital. It's vital. You are vital. Everyone here is vital to this. It's hard to do without you guys. So,
What I love
yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
and just I'm going a rabbit trail here a little bit, but whenever you're doing something creative, I think it's important to just to be yourself and to lean into the stories that you have and the experiences that you have, especially with music, because people will relate to that. They'll find a way they'll catch on to it, but the genuineness that you bring, you can't, recreate. It's like you listen to a Kids Bop song. It's like, yeah, it's Kids Bop. It's whatever you're trying to take this song, but you find someone who put time and emotion into a song, and you can tell the difference, between them. And I think that if you continue to make music that's genuine, that you care about, and that you're like, that's vital to you and who you are, I think that you can go places with that, because it's out of a passion of like we were talking about. Don't podcast for money. Podcast, have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just that should be the first thing, because it's a genuineness that people are interested in and people are looking for. Just people to be genuine and honest.
You need a passion with where you're going.
Yeah.
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 What do you mean
have
by
some
that?
passion.
Like, you can have businesses, but if you don't actually if you're just in it for the money, like, you're gonna get burnt out and you're not gonna like what you do.
Go be a worker bee somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because there's some good paying jobs out there.
Yeah.
Go get one of those.
Exactly.
If that's what you want to do.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's great.
Yeah, Micah,
I like.
welcome to the party.
Yeah, I'm back. I like what Chris was saying just now, and like once you build a reputation with your band, people are gonna look up to you. You know what I mean? There's gonna be kids just like you look up to
I
Brent
believe
Smith. There's gonna be kids looking up to you. So it's about the message you spread, because people listen to music and they take that to heart. Because a lot of the times when we listen to music, that will influence our actions. So
We were talking about that.
yeah, the music that you make is going to influence people. So the direction you take is important on how you want to influence people.
I love it. Micah, you continue talking. What's your problem?
I think my current problem right now is that there are so many career paths that I can see now. Before I was kind of blind to the whole understanding paths I could take, investments like in myself and things around me that I could take and turn it into something that can benefit me in the future. So like picking up this editing, getting used to and learning the ropes of the editing, it's really unlocked something that, this could be a career path for me, I'm also doing the auto services, so service technician's also in my future. And my grandma's friend has a HVAC business in Florida, and we were talking about like moving down there to be an apprentice. And so there's so many of these career paths that I can now realize. So now I'm kind of in a position where I'm focusing on too many that I think I need to choose a couple of ones, like pinpoint ones. So that's kind of my problem right now, is that I think I need to focus more in on the certain ones that I know can take me far.
Mm-hmm. I have thoughts on that, but I don't want to share yet. Anyone have any thoughts on what Mike is going through?
Yeah. I think that's really cool that you have all these opportunities, and I think it's important that you don't lock yourself into something. Don't just go and be a lawyer because that's what sounds good or whatever. Try stuff, figure it out, see what you like, see what you're good at. Try editing, try auto whatever.
Yeah.
Try HVACs, whatever you're doing, like figure it out. I think that's really cool that you have that mindset to kind of say, oh, I could do these things. And that's empowering. I think a lot of people think that they can't do something. They can't start a business, or they can't get a job somewhere, or they can't do something. When that's the thing that's stopping them. That's their problem. It's just the thought that they can't. And it's really freeing and empowering to say, I can do whatever I think I can put my mind to, I always think about actors who get like stuck in like, they're like typecasted. They're just like, I think about like Harrison Ford is like, he's Indiana Jones and he's Han Solo. That's who he is. That's the the kind of characters he's playing. That's the, what I mean? And it doesn't like kind of branch out, or it looks kind of weird when he's doing something different, but people kind of get typecast themselves a little bit. And that's partly that you're good at something and you have a skill and you're, this person, right? But you can really do a lot of different things we're all designed with multiple talents and gifts, and we can really lean into some and learn and do it. You know, you might be naturally bent towards editing, or you might not, but you might have the discipline to learn it, figure it out. You know, so that's cool that you have that, and I'm excited to see what you do.
I think like 50% of people could achieve like a goal if they just had the people to motivate them. You know what I mean? That's why I like this program so much, because it's influenced, you know, Jack to start a new business. It's influenced Brady to create his band, and it's, you know, it's done so many things for just us, who all we do is sit around and we talk and we discuss and encourage each other. And that's why I think so many people could benefit from this program, because it just drives all of us, and it creates this community. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
Which leads us perfectly to the thing we should say, which is if you're finding any of this content wonderful, I don't know, what do you say? Or if it's moving you in any direction, please like, subscribe, and what? Ring the bell?
Click that
the
bell.
bell.
Click that bell. Yeah, exactly.
Right here.
Right there. Right there.
Every point.
Mike, I want to hit up on some of the things you were actually saying. So before we actually, say during the actual, when we were running the actual program, and then we had that long conversation about starting a podcast and stuff like that, and then we turned it into, well, it's a podcast, so now I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of editing I have to do on top of everything else and that kind of stuff. Then you stepped into that role, which I thought was great. Would you consider yourself a semi-creative as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
so this is going to be
Yeah.
really great, because we're doing very basic stuff with this, but it's going to allow, like, what if we tried that? What if we tried that? Now we're going to try to come up with some shorts and all that kind of thing. It's incredibly important, dare I say vital, but is it trademarked yet? No? Okay, dare I say vital, that it's done well, right? And it's only just going to get the message out there more for other people who, like us, who kind of need a group of people, to do this with. I almost said dudes, but women are invited as well. I don't know if it's something we said, but women are invited.
I think
Okay.
it
Right.
smells.
It's the smells.
Yeah.
Okay, but I feel, because I ran a couple different businesses at the same time, you can't edit all the time, And I got a 51 Ford sitting outside. I'd love to have someone start tinkering that mechanically, We should just set up a time. Great, here it is. I got the screwdriver and the thing of duct tape. What'd you say?
It's smooth, the way you brought that up.
Exactly. I'm looking for it to get fixed up for free, for them, no charge. No, for free. Yeah. Okay.
Steve's a
so-
humble guy, guys.
Yeah, exactly. But why not? I mean, it's just another kind of thing. I know what the problems on that car are. Let's get them fixed, so then we can actually beat on the thing.
Yeah.
And then HVAC. We all know there's tons of money in that. Well, there's tons of money in all that stuff. Video editors. I mean, I charge $100 an hour when I video edit, and I'm way under market. It's just because I don't really want to do it. I'm like, I'll do it for that. It's just quick and easy for me, I guess. I don't know. I do very small projects, so I can just make the money really, really quickly. HVAC, I have no idea what they make now, 125 or more. Mechanics are easily that, depending on the mechanic. Are they pushing 175 now? Figure that. Who's got a calculator? $175 an hour?
Well, yeah, more people are. The statistic is more people are dropping out of the trade than there is people joining the trade. So that's why there's such an initiative for young people to join the trade, and they're trying to push that by apprenticeships or, scholarship programs, stuff like that, because it's going down. There's less and less, trades, or less and less people joining the trade.
So people, when you say getting out, they're aging out. Like they're just retiring.
They're retiring.
Right.
So there's more people retiring than joining. So.
Chris, you got how much? What, 125 an hour pays what? Or what do you do?
I did 125 times 40 times 50. So we took 2 weeks off, which is 350,000.
I'd say that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
That's like jack money. What's it like? What's it like to make that kind of money?
Sometimes I can't figure out what car I want to buy. But
Well, you will with Arsh, the Acura NXS. Okay, so anyone want to add also to that? I mean, my point is you can do several things. Okay, but I want to wrap that up.
Just kind of had an idea about the whole trades thing, which I feel like there was something that happened a little while ago where there was like a shortage of tradesmen, so they said, all right, we'll pay you guys this much, but then people started joining, and then people started making no more money because a lot more people joined.
Okay, I have no idea if that's true.
I think that was something
No
with like
clue.
carpenters that happened.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Fact check.
Okay. Fact check. Yeah.
Yeah.
We only spew facts, or we say fact check
Yeah.
us. Yeah. Yeah. Chris, you had a thought?
Mike Rowe,
Yes.
Dirty Jobs.
Yes.
He has some kind of sponsorship or scholarship thing for people going into trades. His foundation or something has started something cool. with that. I haven't looked into it much, but I just heard something about it recently, and I was like, oh, that's cool that he's really pushing people to do trades. I mean, what Dirty Jobs has been all the different weird, crazy things that you can do. He's done them, and he knows the people, and he's like, these jobs are in need, high demand. So there's a bunch of weird jobs out there, which is just cool. It's just cool to see. Man, wow, who knew?
Right. Why do you think? Do you think some trade jobs are looked down upon or frowned upon, and why? Why do you think that might be? Other than, a mechanic gets their fingers dirty, right?
I feel like they're pretty well respected. Like
Yeah.
they keep the world turning.
They absolutely do. They're
We need
incredibly vital.
Uh-huh.
Dun dun dun. We got to come up with a jingle. Because every time I use a trademark, I should give you credit. Go on.
Just a word.
It's just a word.
It's just
Okay.
a word.
I don't really know how much to elaborate on it, but I know I respect all the tradesmen. I've looked into it before. That's kind of plan C, if all else fails,
hmm
some sort of trade. Yeah.
Why would it be Plan C? Because you have more interest in doing stuff with computers and sales.
Yeah, like
ultimately.
sales, and then I got a big passion in cars, so
Okay.
I got a lot of ideas.
Sure. Right. One of our friends who we know, James, he's going to school now. I don't want to say his name because he has not given me any kind of okay to talk about him.
Sure.
But our friend James Ritchie, he is. He's like, I just want to start doing a whole bunch of different things. Now he's kind of settled into one thing. He's going to school for it now. But
Yeah.
before he went to school, he's like, I want to try like 100 things. I just want to see what
Yeah.
could it be. And that makes sense to me, right? So kudos to you guys. Keep trying these things. I didn't start my photography video business until I was 34. I already have 4 kids, house payment, 2 car payments. I had everything. My life was moving.
Yeah.
And then I started it. Right? And I had other businesses before that I just, like we talked about before, I just got rid of. I didn't want to do them anymore.
Yeah.
So you satisfy your last customer, and you're like, okay, I'm done advertising. I'm not going to go get any more. So I think that's a lot how that works. All right, who else wants to add?
That had me thinking about you said you started your photography business when you were
4.
34. Like I'm only 17 and I still feel like I don't have a Ferrari yet, but that's a lot of influence from the media. Like see kids in their rented cars and then you're like trying to sell you their course.
There's a lot of pushing of that.
Yeah.
I've seen it's all about the money because
Yeah.
everybody wants to make money.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, they see those I made $5,000 in this 1 month easily, on market, online business or
Yeah,
something,
exactly.
and they see these charts and it's like, oh, I made this much in the $20K in a month or whatever, and you're like, you get caught up in that. You're like, okay, that's what I want to do.
Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Like,
So they lose track of what's the focus. You need some kind of drive. You need to have an interest in that, or it's just gonna
not just
you're,
some real.
you're not gonna be happy.
Yeah. Even it's poetic to say it's not about the goal but the journey along the way.
Yeah.
But even saying, oh, why don't I have a Ferrari yet? It's like, I don't know. Let me ask Steve. The Corvette's fine.
Right.
It's great. It's a wonderful vehicle. You know what I mean? So I know you're probably being a little bit joking around. Why don't I have a Ferrari? No. But what's the goal? Is it money so that you can just look at your account and look at how much I saved. Look what numbers in my account. I did it. Next number.
Yeah. Right.
Let's add a 0. Whatever, when you start to kind of, that becomes the grind when it's, it's more about the friends you make along the way.
Yep.
But no, it's about, it's a personal journey and growth. Always. I think that's what's really cool about this Ignite thing is it doesn't stop, It doesn't stop when we're, we're like, what's your problem? Okay, that's my problem. Next problem, let's keep going. Let's keep moving. And your life is going to be full of problems, and it's going to be full of things that are going to come up, and you're not really going to know what to do. And so you kind of have to have a group of people and a structure, a way of kind of dealing with things and moving forward and figuring out what the next right step is. So it's why I'm still a part of this program. It's because I still need it. I think I always will.
Perseverance. It's a word I want to talk about for a moment. You were talking about problem.
Yeah.
We're all going to have problems. Problems come along for sure, but most of them should be approached as just like an obstacle, something to persevere over. to fight past.
Yeah.
You know, any examples in your life? Because it's one thing to be persistent, to do something over and over and over and keep going in that direction, but then you have to persevere over something.
Yeah.
That's a completely different thing. You know, getting that diploma. You know, they call it diplomas, degree, right?
I have a diploma and a degree.
What? Bragger. I
Dude,
only have one of those
doors
things.
that
I
way.
have two.
It's your problem.
What's your problem? So we're all
Gym
working
teacher.
on, we're all working on our diplomas here, you know, ultimately. But is there anything in our lives recently, and I know I threw one out for you already, Chris, but where you had to persevere, where you had to literally overcome something? It's more than just showing up. You actually had to put in some serious effort. Probably, I'm just thinking about you right now, like writing that first song. You got to persevere past that. Do you have the beginning? I don't know how the songs are structured. Chorus, bridge, opening riffs,
Verse 1.
guitar solo. I mean, there's like all kinds of things, right? There's things to get it fully done, whether it's good or not. Because I think what you say that the song sucks that was the title of your first song. We talked about that. I can't remember. That sucks.
No.
I don't remember that.
Okay, I don't remember.
That's
That's not the name
rude,
of the
Steve.
song.
That is a little bit
Rude.
rude. Well, we goofed up. Yeah, it is rude. It is rude. But it's true, wasn't it? You said it's not very good. Your first song. I don't remember.
It's like our first podcast,
It wasn't.
right?
That's like our first podcast. Yeah,
Well, you
sorry.
have to
Threw that out a long
persevere.
time
And
ago.
you know what? And that's a lot of times the people's problem is they just don't want to do the first one. You know, they don't want to do the first thing that because it's going to be bad or it's not going to be ideal. It's going to be what they want, and so it's hard to kind of move on. I've never really been like artsy and like drawing and stuff, but I've always been like what's kind of holds me back a little bit of that is because I'm just anytime I try, it's not good enough. I'm like I should. What am I doing? I don't know. You know, and I have like multiple really artistic family members, like my siblings, all very kind of artsy and draw well and all this stuff, and it's something they've practiced. Their first dinosaur they drew was not great. the 400th dinosaur he's drawn is awesome. It's in a museum. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa! It takes that kind of thing
Yeah.
to get, you know. So Jonathan Metzger art. Shout out to him. He could use the
Yeah.
likes, comments. You know,
About getting that
on
over
Instagram.
getting over that first hump.
The first hump.
Steve, you've probably
Anyway,
taken a lot of bad photos in your career.
Sure, 100%. Yeah, yeah. I remember the
first-
first time I opened up Photoshop. I'm like, okay, file. Like people who ever opened up probably understand. You know, I went to file, okay, open, right, or new. I just remember file, open. That's how I tell a story. File, open. Oh, I got a picture in there. Now what? I don't know. Black contrast. I don't know. So I just started goofing off. You know, now I'm like a whiz. I do all kinds of stuff with masking and you know, pretty high level stuff. You know, and which I find is pretty interesting. But back to Micah, when you're talking about, you know, these three things that you just came up with, you know, editing, you're starting to like that a lot. You always want to tinker with cars. I think you're going to school for a little bit of that too, right? Tinkering?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm going to try to
Okay.
get the certification. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And then, of course, HVAC. It's got to be prepared to cut yourself a few times. That's all. You know, I don't have patience for some of those things, and I don't want to get wounded. But to bring it back just a few steps into the program, which would be like, what are your strengths? Like, why those three things? You could be doing all kinds of different stuff, but you're a tinkerer. You
Yeah.
want to do this.
I love to work with my hands. Yeah.
Right. So, you know, so thinking about your strengths and then also what you value. You know, you have to take those things into consideration when you're thinking about what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Can't go against your values.
Yeah.
You know, thoughts on that?
The reason I chose those, it's rooted in what my personality traits are and my values, and that's why.
Yeah.
You know, Brady, you're a singer for a reason. You know, you have the values and the personality traits you need to have as a singer. You're a business maker because that's the values you have, and I think that's really what comes down to it is like the what are your values. That's one of my favorite podcasts that we've ever done because that is like the Kickstarter to once you realize your values and your personality traits, then that's really what takes you off.
Yeah.
You take off now. So now you know what you need to look for and what jobs, you know, require those skills. And once you find those, you know, you're destined to succeed.
Yep.
So back to Brady. Why did you pick the music you decided to pick? Why that music?
I can't really sing heavy metal vocals,
Okay.
and my voice is more of a like higher range. I can't really hit very low notes, but I just thought it was right for me.
Okay.
And kind of like heavy metal and like death metal is more satanic, and I'm not like that.
Okay.
And I don't want to be like that.
Okay. Plus, you enjoy that type of music. Your favorite band is
Shinedown.
Shinedown. Okay. And they're considered pop.
Hard
Like-
rock, same genre that we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because it speaks to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like something you actually value. You enjoy it, so we're going to make it. That makes sense to me, right? He's doing something he should be doing. Jack, thoughts?
I take into consideration a lot of my values when I'm working on something. Like when I started my first detailing business, like I knew like what I was passionate about. Like, I knew I like cars, and I know that, you know, I'm not a big desk job type of guy, even though it's kind of what I'm doing now. But anyway, besides that, like I just knew, you know, like I said, very hands on. It's kind of the way I am, and then just the sales part of it. So I kind of I like working with people. I like talking to people, and that's something that I've overcome throughout the years. Is I used to be very introverted. I didn't like to talk to people, but now I kind of broke out of that shell, and now that's like one of my main values is just being like personable. You know, I just like to talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
and I've learned a lot of skills through that. You know, a lot of connections. It's
Mhm.
just.
And you have a great example at home. Your mother's a talker.
I've spent
Yapper.
centuries
She's a yapper.
centuries at the grocery store line
Mm.
because my mom just talks and talks.
We go.
God forbid she finds one of her friends in the store.
Oh, that's great. All right, I think we should wrap up. This is a good place to kind of end the show just a little bit. I want to throw a challenge your way. What is something what's a problem that you want to come up with a solution for and then overcome that? Persevere, get over that thing. Who would like to share first? Brady.
I'll go. I'll definitely like to stay off Instagram more for this week and, well, for the rest of the weeks too. And just dedicate my time to my music and schoolwork so I can get my grades up and just write music and it'll come out a little bit sooner than if I just stay off the video games and stay off my phone.
Right.
Which you guys should be doing too. I challenge you to get off your phone and stay off Instagram. I know it's hard.
Go for a walk.
Just do it.
Exactly. Who wants to go next?
I think for me personally, I need to get on my books, not reading. I say I'm gonna read almost every time we meet up, but I don't read. I need to make it a habit.
Mm-hmm.
One of my books is about habits, and I'm not making it a habit to read the book. So it's
What's the
kind
name of the book? Atomic Habits?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, but I like get like a couple pages in, and then it's like, and then I stop and I forget what the last pages were about, so I gotta go back.
Okay.
So.
Do you highlight in books?
I tried to.
Okay, good. When you do, next time you come up with a highlight, take a photograph of it and put it into the text group.
Okay.
That way we know what you're doing. Give us a benefit from
Yeah,
some of
yeah.
the things you're picking up.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yep.
Chris, you want to come up with something?
Yeah, I'm gonna challenge myself to just spend some time figuring out direction and where I'm going, and I think really lean into some community, finding people who can help me think through things. You know, coaches, just sitting down and having those conversations of, you know, where do I want my life to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be? You know, sit down with my wife, sit down with friends, and some mentors, and again, that's, you know, a challenge to you guys. Find people to speak into your life. Find people in community around that will help you figure out what your problem is and then your solution. So that is a challenge to myself and to you guys as well,
Right.
and the listeners.
Yeah. Chris, you had mentioned that you have mentors and coaches
Mhm.
that are helping you out. I know
Yeah.
you're also a mentor and a coach to some other people.
Yeah.
You've accomplished some pretty serious things because of you were a part of this program
Mhm.
and you were accomplishing some serious things.
Yeah.
And now that you kind of accomplished those things, you're at like another plateau, like a resting
Yeah.
spot. And now you're ready to seek that out. So I just want to strongly encourage you in that to, yes, do that.
Mhm.
Because talking about it with us as well as other people is very, very wise.
Yeah.
And to find the next thing. And it doesn't have to be something spectacular. Just, you know, you should always just be chasing something
Yeah.
for sure. That's what I
Mhm.
think. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think you're completely right. I know who I am. I'm gonna always be on my feet, always doing something. So, and I love the input of others, and I'm just always, you know, looking for some wise advice. So.
Hmm. Right.
Mhm.
So do you have anything for the audience about like, hey, seek these people?
Yeah, seek people. Man, How do you find a good people?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great question.
You got to go through the program.
You got to go through the program a little bit. Steve and I'll be there if you get through. At least sometimes. You know, be. I'm not going to tell you who to listen to, but be aware who's talking to you. Be aware of who's influencing. Yeah, our cameraman just said you're the sum of your 5 friends, your 5 closest friends. So
Elite 5.
The 5. Your
The
elite
elite
5.
five, yeah.
Yes, which is one of the modules. So
Mhm.
you know, be aware of that. Be aware of who's influencing you, whose advice you're seeking, and try to make sure that you are discerning the best you can be for moving on through your life and to accomplish the goals that you have.
Mhm.
So that's a little.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Micah will wrap up, but before we talk about that, my challenge for the week, what I'm going to try to do is get the website fully locked in. We've been talking a little bit.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of people kind of kicking some ideas around, but it's time to like really. It's the next thing that has to be done. I'd like for it to be done before Christmas for sure. Because I'd like to ignite it. Yeah.
Let's burn it down.
You're going to throw comments like that all day? Is that what we're doing?
Why don't you? Pull
Yeah. Why don't you just sit down?
Yeah.
Can you? He talks once and we hammer him. Micah, I want to you close us up and then we'll clap afterwards. So what do you got?
Sure. Yeah. My challenge for myself is honestly to just try something new. Like, it's that simple. When I did that last, I learned that I can maybe do decently at editing. I'm not a pro. I've never reached Steve's level, I don't think.
You just started
But
too.
exactly, I'm gonna
Right.
try to do my best to get there. You know,
Let's do it.
so that's my challenge, is to try something new. And my challenge for you guys is to really identify the problem that's stopping you. You take a step back and identify what's really stopping you from achieving what you want to do. And go ahead and comment that down below, and we will all try to give you advice and tell you how to tackle that and encourage you to solve that. So, yeah, thanks for joining us on this podcast, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Who wants to say like us, subscribe, bell? What is it called? I forget. Anyone?
Leave a
Young-
like right down here or over here, wherever it's gonna be. Leave a comment and we'll reply.
and
Thank you.
subscribe and ring
Yep.
that bell.
Subscribe.
Thank you. I guess I'll
Thank
just
you.
have to say it. All right. Clap it up.